According to research, open relationships almost always have rules. Now let me read you this little story. That's how it works for Chris and James. Over drinks upstairs at the venerable Twin Peaks Tavern in the Castro neighborhood of San Francisco, they beamed as they recalled the day in June 2008 that they donned black suits and wed at City Hall. That was during that brief period of time when you could get married.
Whether you like it or not.
Stunned by the outpouring of affection from complete strangers. Even homeless people and bike messengers were congratulating us, said Chris. A couple since 2002, they opened their relationship a year ago after concluding that they were not fully meeting each other's needs. They have rules, complete disclosure, honesty about all encounters, advance approval of partners, and no sex with strangers. They must both know the other men first. Weird. Ooh. We check in with each other on this an awful lot, said James. The transparency makes our relationship stronger. Okay. Boy, I can't imagine that. I mean, can you imagine being able to deal with meeting with Judy? Okay, as long as I meet the guy and the guy comes over and you're kind of friends with him. I see, that's cool. Okay,
Can we use your wife in this scenario instead of mine? What the hell? You can't just use my wife all of a sudden. You brought it up. So you and Laura talking about who she's going to have sex with. Go on. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm listening.
I can't imagine that.
No, well, then,
I really can't.
All right, Scott, you willing to volunteer?
Let me think. No.
All right, then. Which says something.
It does. It means something, doesn't it?
I'll tell you precisely what it means.
Even if I wanted to do that, I couldn't. I couldn't.
I'll tell you what it means, and it means the same. It's the same reason that there are sexual double standards all over the place in society, and ought to be, because the woman is the giver of children,
and the goalie,
and the goalie. And my wife is Martin Brodeur. Let me tell you, I can't get no respect. Never mind. She let my puck in the... what? There's a punchline there somewhere. Somebody help me. Help me. Anyway.
My wife dresses up like a goalie just to drive home the points.
Yeah. Nothing getting by me tonight, boy. So because woman as the carrier of children, there's a sacredness to that. And in a heterosexual relationship, everybody knows it. These two lads, who I hope share great happiness together for the rest of their days, I wish them nothing but joy. They don't have anything like that. And I'm probably not describing it in quite as poetic way as, say, the dead J.D. Salinger might.
That relationship that I just described, that they say here in this study is 50% of the male relationships, I don't believe that exists in 1 out of 1,000 opposite-sex marriages.
I don't know if that's true. I don't know what that number would be. I'm often surprised at how weird people are. But wow, it's Tony in Santa Rosa. Tony, thanks for holding patiently. What's on your mind?
Hey, good morning, guys. Love your show.
Thank you.
For years. Well, it's interesting, that article that you read where they were talking about their disclosure in their relationship, and like all the little parts that you covered in that, that's exactly like our conversation when dealing with being open.
You are in such a relationship?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what, when I was first in a relationship, and I'm 47, so, I have enough life experience to kind of understand relationships and, the jealousy and games, all that kind of stuff. And, there's a certain point where you're kind of past that. But it was really interesting to deal with that when we started talking about having an open relationship. And it was kind of the sexual needs type thing. But after you're kind of over that initial part of it, it's like there's no jealousy anymore. There's no distrust anymore. It's like...
So you're that confident that your partner won't find somebody else.
Yeah, and that's the thing that kind of is the hardest thing to deal with. It's like, well, we're in a 5-year relationship, which for gays, that's like...
Tony, that wouldn't be the hardest part of dealing with it for me as a straight guy. But,
no, what were you about to say? I think that's important. Sorry. You said you were in a 5-year relationship, which for gays is what?
It's a long time. I mean,
okay, that means something right there.
That's a good long relationship, and we're registered domestic partners. So I'm probably not the best person to talk to when it gets to the gay marriage part and the whole agenda, because we look at our domestic partnership as a marriage. So I don't look at it.
And nobody can stop you from doing that.
Yeah, it's like I don't need a different title, and I don't need to ram that down people's throat. I figure when that happens, it happens. That's when society accepts it, and I'm okay with that, and we're happy with that.
Okay, Tony,
life together.
You sound happy.
Yeah, hey, thanks for the call. It's nice to talk to you. See you later.
I wonder if it's just the biological realities of the way men are. We're way hornier than women,
right?
And can have sex with like no attachment whatsoever.
Yeah,
doesn't mean a thing. I mean, not a freaking thing. So, and
it's like eating a cupcake.
And you're both that way in the relationship, and you both know how each other. You, as a guy, you could say, "Yeah, I can fully believe that you could have sex with that dude," and it means nothing to you. Whereas women, I think it's harder for women to get in that headspace. That's just a guess.
Kelly in Antioch. Hello, Kelly. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine, thanks. I was actually going to say something to the effect of what Jack said, which was, I think it is a biological thing with men. Not to be rude, but I've been...
No, it's not rude. It's just a statement of fact.
We're dumb beasts.
I am.
Led by our penises.
Oh, yes. Generally into trouble.
But I've been in a relationship with my girlfriend for going on 13 years now. We have it's very, very traditional. We're very monogamous. We have 2 kids, a dog, 2 cats, the picket fence in the yard, the whole 9 yards. And even though I didn't agree with everything that Tony said, the one thing that I do agree with is that we regard our commitment to each other as a marriage. Like it's a mental state. It doesn't have to come on a piece of paper, and the domestic partnership pretty much covers us for everything that we need.
So would you say thumbs up for women getting married but not the fellas?
Yeah, has anybody ever proposed that?
I'm not really sure. I think it's really a cultural thing. They took kind of a weird cross section of like the homosexual community in this study, I think, because I don't know, like, you're not going to see me in the city on the back of a Harley waving my rainbow flag during the parade.
Right, or most gay people.
Well, I don't think the study was exclusively, at the Power Exchange at 2 a.m., but
Power Exchange.
All right, Kelly, very nice to talk to you.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, bye-bye.
I think it's hilarious when we've talked to mainstream gay people, they're as amused and confused by that whole on the back of the Harley, half naked with a rainbow flag Power Exchange thing as we are.
Right.
They don't live like that. They just have an apartment and a job and just... All right, more on the way. You're listening to the Armstrong and Getty Show. This is the Armstrong and Getty Show.
Hello. We've got some good-looking calls, some intriguing, intelligent questions and or comments from the folks.
Been talking about this San Francisco State University study about gay marriage, as reported in the New York Times, and gay marriages are much more open sexually than opposite marriages, like much more open sexually.
Can we say heterosexual? Opposite marriage is cute, but I'm afraid people won't realize it's ironic.
I think it's hilarious.
Well, I know, but you say it in such a reasonable tone.
Yes.
I'm afraid it'll catch on, and then I'll have to add that to my list of annoyances. And I've already told you, I'm full.
What are you going to call it?
Heterosexual marriage.
I think you should just call it marriage. Otherwise, you've lost the word war.
Oh, you are a skilled tactician, Jack.
You've lost the word war.
You're right. Hey, by the way,
unless you're wanting to change it.
I think Nathan has a pretty reasonable question here before we get into the news with the fabulous Marshall Phillips. Hey, Nathan, what's your question?
Hey, so about the study, one of the things that people don't report, when the media reports on studies like this, one of the things that they don't tell you is, like, the fine details. Like, where is the sample of people being drawn from? Is it from San Francisco where, the population of gay people is going to be a little different than it is across the country?
Absolutely.
Everybody's a little more nutty sexually. Not everybody, but straights, bis, gays, LBG, whatever the heck in San Francisco.
It's a very good point. It's a very good point. Gay couples in Omaha are not the same as gay couples in the Castro district.
Yeah. You know what? We'll try to dig that out of the study, Nathan. Excellent observation.
Right, and the media always wants to draw out the most reportable thing, the thing that's going to grab your attention. If they just said, hey, this is a study of people from San Francisco, you might just dismiss it saying, oh, San Francisco's that weird city over there.
All right, thanks, Nate.
Pay attention to that.
Thank you, my friend.
Very good
We'll
point.
look into it.
Researchers studying adulterous relationships have uncovered his and her versions of the emotions felt when a partner cheats.
Fits into what we've been talking about.
Yes, indeed. Psychologists found that when a man is caught cheating, it is not the sex that upsets the woman, but that he might form an emotional attachment with the other woman.
Oh, it's partly the sex.
But this would explain the whole open marriages among gay men thing.
Right.
But when a woman is caught cheating, it is the sex that upsets the man, not the fact that she might fall in love with her new partner.
That's weird, isn't it? But it's true.
Well,
I'm a very sensitive man. You wouldn't know it, but I am. It would be both for me. It would unquestionably. I don't know. Why don't you go sleep with my wife, and then I'll try to puzzle that out.
Hell of an experiment.
I think for me it would be, is the other person uglier than me?
Oh, that's...
If they are, it would really
We've
hurt.
asked that question before. Do you want them to be uglier or better looking?
Uglier, by far.
I want her to slum. I can think, well, she was probably drunk or something, yeah.
It turns out, bottom line...
What, do you want it to be somebody really hot looking?
No, absolutely.
Okay, all right, just clarifying.